so in extra. Diane, let's bring you back, and you're looking at at what's going on really with our ability to read books, to get hold of books, and what's happening around the libraries. But of course, libraries very often very important for young children.
Doing a series of talks around the country related to what's been happening in libraries. And first of all, I would like to thank Cabot Edinburgh for hosting the talk that I did last week in Edinburgh. It was a really well-attended event, a great audience, lots of engaging conversation, and thanks in particular, of course, to the chair of Common Knowledge, Edinburgh, Professor Richard Enos, for hosting me and letting me have a place to sleep in his house for the night. The title of my talk was "They're Burning Books Again, Stop the Destruction of Our Libraries." And I was looking at, in particular, a hypocrisy that I have really been thinking about very deeply recently. If we can put this photo on the screen, please, of me at the talk. This was a photo that one of the other committee members took of me. And if you can't see the screen, it was me talking about a picture book that is available in children's library collections around the country. The book is called, and this is just one of many examples, "In My Daddy's Belly, The Story of a Transgender Dad Giving Birth." The author is Logan Brown. The official summary says that inspired by the author's real family, this heartwarming story about two dads eagerly awaiting the birth of their first child follows the excitement and joy of welcoming a new baby into a loving family. The person giving birth just happens to be one of the dads. Interesting. So last week, Brian, if you remember, I covered what was happening in Kent Council libraries regarding children's access to age-inappropriate books. And just as a review of what I covered, here's the video I showed last week from Councillor Paul Webb in Kent.
Good evening, everybody. Paul Webb here, your Reform UK Cabinet Member for Communities and Regulatory Services at Kent County Council. I was recently contacted by a concerned member of the public who found trans-ideological material and books in the children's section of one of our libraries. I've looked into this, and this was the case. I've today issued instruction for them all to be removed from the children's section of any of our libraries. They do not belong in the children's section of our libraries. Our children do not need to be told they were born in the wrong bodies. So from today, this will stop. Thank you very much.
So that's just a reminder of what he did. There's a bit of controversy around that. But anyway, we can talk about that more in extra if we need to talk about it some more. But I want to update some things that have happened in the past week in response to what happened. My former professional body, the Chartered Institute of Library and Information Professionals, or CILIP, responded to this with a press release saying, quote, "Libraries are trusted for providing facts and freedom," which, in my case, I did not experience either one by the time I was pushed out of the organization. But here's a quote from the CEO of CILIP. He said, "The idea of politicians policing or banning books is profoundly troubling. It evokes images of authoritarian regimes, not a modern, democratic, and diverse society like UK." So as a result of this reporting that I did last week, and I'm networking with some people locally here in the Northeast, I had a call with Darren Grimes, Councillor Darren Grimes in County Durham, who I mentioned earlier in the news. We had a really good call. He wants to look at what these books are that are located in children's departments and to make a list of the books that are available in the children's departments of Durham County Council libraries. So just as one example that I found in a quick search, which I'm just starting to do this work, here's one book that is located in the children's section called "She's My Dad, A Story for Children Who Have a Transgender Parent or Relative." This is an illustrated picture book that tells the story of Mini, M-I-N-I, and her dad, Haley, a transgender woman. As Minnie explains to her cousin why misgendering is damaging and emphasizes the need to treat trans people with respect. This title is for children aged and up, 3 years old, who have a family member who is transitioning. So that's just one example. This is located in the Durham Clayport Library, which is in the city center of Durham. So what we see here with this dichotomy and this hypocrisy that I've been talking about recently is, as I've mentioned before previously in UK column, the decolonization of library collections and universities. And in my opinion, anyone old enough to be at university should have the right to read whatever they want. But what they're doing with the older generations of young people, so people in universities, are removing things from library collections or changing them. So here's an example here from a university in England here. I believe this is the University of East Anglia, talking about decolonizing the library from the perspective of their students.
Hi, I'm Virgilio, pronouns he, him, and I'm here with Ebony, she, her, and Molly, she, her. We're going to chat to you about decolonizing the library.
We really wanted to get involved with this initiative because we wanted to see change in who is represented in library texts. The knowledge from authors of colour is invaluable.
If you head to the new online subject guide for decolonisation, you can request more text from a variety of different backgrounds. This push, coming from students especially, will make such a difference to the library's resources.
Go to the website below to get started.
So the website that they were referring to was for people to indicate which books needed to be changed one way or the other within the university library. And this can be seen in university libraries all around the country, Brian, that they have this agenda going on. So what we're seeing on the one hand is destroying children's innocence by putting pornography in front of them. And on the other hand, on the university level, where everything should be able to be explored, removing things that people should be exposed to, including the history of Britain and the amazing cultural history that this country has, Brian.
Dangerous times, but to fight it, we've got to understand what's actually happening. So, Diane, thank you very much for taking the lid off what you are seeing occur around the libraries and small children.